Thank you for your interest in submitting an abstract to the UNC Water and Health Conference. This video is the first of two brief tutorials to give you guidance on how to prepare an abstract for the conference. This video will focus on how to structure the abstract and what information to include, and the second video will focus on how abstracts are reviewed and scored and provide tips for how to improve your score. It's important to first consider what information should be included in your abstract, and it's important to include all of the necessary information related to the background, the research objective, your methods, your results, and your conclusions. And I recommend that you break the abstract into sections to most clearly communicate this information. The first section of your abstract that I recommend is a background section that explains why you have done this research. This should include background information, establish your research motivation, and present the objective of this research. There are different ways that you could structure it, but one example is starting with 1 to 2 sentences that introduce the big picture problem that you are trying to address. Then go into the specific knowledge gap that your research is addressing, followed by giving your specific research objective that might address that knowledge gap. By the end of reading this section, I should understand why you have undertaken this research, why it's important, and why your research contributes to solving an existing problem. The next section in your abstract should be your methods section that provides a brief overview of the basic study design and the research methods that you have used. This should include describing the specific type of research, whether it be formative research, a randomized trial, or a different study design, and it should include important details that are specific, such as the sample size, the study location or context, the study duration, specific analytical methods, and outcome measures that you use. And this will help reviewers evaluate how rigorous your study was. The next section should be your results section, where you summarize the main research results. If you do not have space to include all your results, that's okay. You can use the abstract to highlight the most important findings that are related to your conclusions. It's also important to include specific details here if possible, such as statistical results or p-values and numerical results, because it helps reviewers evaluate the specific research that you've done and what you will be presenting at the conference. Sometimes people also want to submit abstracts for research that is still in progress that they expect to be completed by the conference, and this is okay. But if you haven't yet completed the research, you can use this section to present preliminary results that will allow reviewers to determine whether or not the project will be finished by the conference. The final section of your abstract should be the conclusion section, and this should summarize the main conclusions and key takeaways of your research based on your results. Make sure that these conclusions are specific to your actual study results and avoid making broad claims that aren't supported by your results. Again, if your research is in progress, that's okay. You can use this section to highlight any conclusions from your preliminary findings, or you can talk about what you think your results will allow you to make conclusions about. There's also additional resources on how to prepare this abstract that I recommend that you check out, including reading online guidance on the conference website that goes over the specific abstract requirements such as word counts, and also provides tips for how to write a successful abstract for the UNC Water and Health Conference. You can also read past abstracts from last year's conference on our website as examples of how to structure your abstract and what information that you should be including. But it's very important that you don't copy the text directly from these abstracts. The abstracts that you submit should be your own work, and you need to write them yourself. We also plan to host some drop-in abstract workshops as the deadline approaches, and I recommend that you watch for announcements of these workshops where you can stop in and ask any questions about the abstracts you're preparing. Thank you, and we look forward to seeing your abstract.